Let me tell you a story about Lewis. He's a 25-year-old entrepreneur from Texas, a real go-getter. He built his own mobile mechanic and car detailing business from the ground up, and man, is he good at it. Lewis is the kind of guy who puts his heart into everything he does, especially his relationships. Speaking of relationships, Lewis is head over heels for a woman named Ashley. And you can see why. Ashley is absolutely stunning. She has this way about her that just pulls you in, and she definitely has Lewis wrapped around her little finger. They've been together for a long time, since they were juniors in high school, in fact. But here's the thing about Ashley. She doesn't work. She doesn't cook. And she constantly nags Lewis about every little thing. You'd think her life was a disaster, but from the outside, it looks perfect, all thanks to Lewis. He provides everything. This isn't a new thing either. Back in high school, Ashley was even harder on him. She would scold him, be harsh, and embarrass him in public, in front of their friends, any chance she got. It was brutal to watch. But Lewis, being the soft-spoken, kind-hearted gentleman he is, just took it. He was so driven by the love he thought he had for her that he just took everything with a grain of salt, hoping one day she would change. Now, fast forward to today. Lewis is planning to propose to Ashley in just a couple of weeks, and everyone, I mean everyone close to him, is in a state of panic. They're doing everything they can to get him to see the light and change his mind. His best friend Brian has been by his side since kindergarten. They're more like brothers than friends. Brian has always been in Lewis's ear about Ashley, telling him she's no good for him, even back in high school. But it was like talking to a brick wall. Lewis was blinded. Maybe it was love, maybe it was lust, or maybe he was just incredibly lonely. Nobody could understand how someone could endure so much verbal abuse and not just walk away. So, Brian decides he's had enough. He can't just stand by and watch his best friend make the biggest mistake of his life. He gathers the guys for what's supposed to be a regular poker night. They're all laughing, joking, having a good time. Then, Brian gets serious. He has a plan. A plan to finally get Lewis to see Ashley for who she really is. He knows Ashley is just using Lewis for his money and his comfortable lifestyle. He's seen it for years. As they're all joking around, one of their close friends, Thomas, chimes in, laughing. "That man ain't leaving Ashley," he says. "He's completely whipped." The whole group erupts in laughter, making a big joke out of it. But Brian isn't laughing. He's not having any of it. "This is serious, guys," he yells over their laughter, his voice cutting through the noise. "We have to get our friend out of this. We have to help him. Ashley isn't who she says she is." The room goes quiet. Brian's intensity hangs in the air. He walks over to the poker table, a thick manila folder in his hands. With a heavy sigh, he opens it and throws the contents all over the green felt. Photos, dozens of them scattered across the playing cards and poker chips. Photos of Ashley. Thomas leans in, his brow furrowed. "Is this Ashley?" he asks, his voice a mix of disgust and confusion. Another friend picks up a picture, his eyes wide. "Are these real?" "Yes," Brian says, his voice heavy with the weight of what he's been carrying. "Yes, they are. The photos show Ashley with another man, an older man, and the pictures are recent. Very recent," Brian explains. "I've been tracking Ashley since high school. Something never sat right with me about her. So I started investigating, and I kind of never stopped." He points to the scattered evidence. "What you see here is years of proof." Brian takes a deep breath. "There's more, guys. A lot more." He tells them about Ashley's secret past, how even back in high school, before she ever got with Lewis, she was dating this same older man. A man who was 5 times her age. Brian, always the brightest in class, the one who paid attention to every single detail, had noticed it all back then. He saw everything, but he kept his mouth shut, not wanting to meddle. But this time is different. This time he can't sit back and stay quiet. He can't wait for Ashley to inevitably break his best friend's heart. "We have to tell Lewis," Brian says, his voice firm, pleading with his friends. Another friend, finally grasping the severity of the situation, chimes in. "He's right. Lewis is our best friend. We have to help him." The mood in the room has completely shifted. The poker game is forgotten. Now, it's a war room, a mission to save their friend. But what the crew did not know was that Brian was about to expose something even more shocking about Ashley, something that went far beyond just cheating. For hours, they sat around that table, surrounded by the evidence of Ashley's betrayal. They weren't just contemplating anymore. They were strategizing. They were coming up with the perfect, foolproof plan to finally expose Ashley for what she really is and free Lewis from her grasp once and for all. The breakup was coming, and it was going to be explosive. Thanks for watching. If you want to see what happens next in Lewis's story, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. See you in the next video.